All right, good morning, folks. Today is Monday, January 27th, 2025. I'm Anthony. This is Drive Dive. So really quickly, this video will be about checking your identity, adjusting what counts, and adjusting your routines. So before I get into it, I wanted to give a quick shout out to folks like Orion, Michael Nicholas, and Prod Sig, 3 users out there who checked out my content, left comments. I appreciate the encouragement, the feedback, to keep going and try to take this thing seriously. So with that, I guess adjusting your identity, right? Reflecting on the weekend. I've shared before, I identify as a husband, a father, a teacher, some of the other hats I wear, right? I'm an Amazon product reviewer, guess I'm a YouTuber, right? And so I think we need to establish those things first for ourselves before we can then consider like what counts, right? By that I mean what counts as being productive. If the things that we're doing don't match up with our identity or identities, well, that's where we run into problems, run into trouble, start getting down on ourselves and questioning whether or not we're being productive. And so for me, thinking about the weekend, again, I stated how I identify. I had an opportunity to spend some time with my son and play in a Disney Lorcana trading card game tournament. So while that is hours of time, I guess traveling to the tournament for us is about a 35-40 minute drive, and then you spend at least like 5 hours at the tournament and then some time driving home. And you might say, oh well, because of all that time I didn't get to do this, I didn't get to do that. And so sure, while that may be true, the fact that I spent time with my son and got to be a good father, be a good role model, and also create opportunities for him to hone some of his skills specific to the Disney Lorcana game and getting better as a competitor there, which, by the way, he's really good. Last week he came in 7th, and just this past weekend he came in 9th. Out of 20 players, people have been doing it for a very long time. They've been doing these types of tournaments for 20 plus years, much longer than he's been alive, half as long as I've been alive. And for him to do that well is just incredible. But so creating opportunities for him to also develop his softer skills, I think of organization, making sure we've packed snacks and water and we're good to go, we're prepared for the day, but also just overhearing him engage with the other participants. And again, these are adults, he's able to just connect and relate and share. And so big time commitment, but served my role, my identity, right, as a caring, loving father, and also sure my identity as maybe likewise a trading card game competitor, possibly. It's one I struggle with. I don't know how competitive I actually am, whether or not I should say I'm a competitor, but anyway, if you're gonna do it, all right, something like that. But so there's that. And then yesterday, I guess I played in another tournament by myself. But before going, I tried to make it a point to do a couple of little things around the house to, I guess it's my role as a father, but I really had my wife in mind when I was doing these things and trying to be a good or better husband. And so I made it a point to fold some laundry, wash dishes, I took out the compost, all these little things that sometimes they don't take very long, which is also maybe a reason why I have a tendency to just kind of put them off, like, oh, I'll do it later, and dismiss it. But then, again, this struggle I think that we're talking about of being productive if that's the goal, if we identify as productive, and then the other in general, and then the other specific roles, I mean, we have to take the time to do those little things. So I'm just kind of proud of myself, I think, for doing that, for doing those little things. Additionally, I guess the third thing is adjusting some of your routines. And I don't even know if it's adjusting the routines or tweaking like what happens within those routines. So what I mean by that is, I know in a previous video I had said something to the effect of sitting in the couch versus sitting at my desk when I go down to the basement, right? Everyone else is in bed. I have maybe a couple of hours to myself before I need to get to bed and get my 6 hours of sleep. So what do I do with that time? Oftentimes I'll sit at the couch, turn on the TV, and get lost in that, or I'll open up my computer and maybe play a game or something and get lost in that. But I need to grade papers, right? So it's oftentimes better for me to, I'm not really adjusting my routine, right? I'm not going to the basement. I'm not taking that 2 hours to myself. It's just adjusting that slightly, some of the details. Instead of sitting at the couch, sit at the desk. And then there are different tasks that I can accomplish at the desk that maybe wouldn't cause me to, get lost, right? And not be productive, not do the things that would serve my identity. So I realized that this morning as well, actually. I'll get my breakfast ready, I'll sit down at the table, and I'll get on my phone, which, given the multitude of things we can do on our phones, we can quickly get lost in things and just not be productive, not serve our identity. And so I said, well, shoot, like I don't have to adjust that. I don't have to put the phone down, but let's remind myself what is it that I could be doing on my phone right now that would serve my identity, that would make me feel more productive. And so I mentioned at the onset, I identify as an Amazon product reviewer. I'm like, this is a perfect time. Just take 5 minutes to write a review. Click on some stars, give some honest thoughts about it, quick little title, and submit. I also took the time this morning to reply. I had replied previously the three comments I mentioned from Michael Nicholas, Orion, and Prod Sig. I'd replied previously to the Michael Nicholas comments that I received prior, and over the weekend, Orion and Prod Sig, I replied to those two this morning. So again, not adjusting my routine, not saying, oh, it's bad to pick up the phone, but when I pick up the phone, what are some identity aligned and therefore productive activities that I can engage in? And so for me, that was, rather than scrolling through, I'll call it my Google News feed and catching up on headlines, I wrote an Amazon product review and replied to 2 comments I received on my YouTube channel, right? Aligned with my identities of being a product reviewer and a YouTuber. And any of that headline stuff, I am sure there is a podcast or a radio show I could easily listen to while I'm driving, right? And just as a reminder, that was the impetus for this whole YouTube channel, these videos. How can I make my drive, my 45, 60-minute drive to and from, right, nearly 2 hours of time in the car, a bit more productive. So there you have it, folks. There's me, my identity, some of the activities I'm engaged in aligned with those identities to feel more productive, and a couple minor tweaks I've been trying to make to my routines to just make all of that happen. Please give us a like, a comment. I will get back to you. I love the engagement. Hit the notification bell, and we'll catch you on the next one. Happy Monday.